I'd recommend this dual degree program precisely because it positions students to move across sectors. At Wagner we say the interesting ideas are at the intersection.
I knew I wanted to work in the nonprofit sector, but I wanted to bring a high degree of business acumen into that work. And no better way to do it than to pursue two separate degrees in business and in nonprofit management where you really get the best of both worlds. And I figured both of them housed at NYU, a fantastic university in the heart of New York City, was just the best opportunity I could pursue.
I come from a nonprofit background, and I worked for a microfinance organization that was really interested in efficiency and self-sustainability. And so that sort of got me much more interested into the business aspect of running an organization like that. I thought that I could pursue a business degree at the same time pursuing a public service degree and get the best of both worlds.
A lot of Stern students were very interested in the social enterprise side of the world of private, not-for-profit corporations, and a lot of Wagner students who largely go into the nonprofit or government world were very interested in increasing numbers of public-private organizations.
The work is very different, and I think it's different in ways that are very complementary. For example, Stern has a lot of group work, whereas Wagner, the classes have, I would say, more reading associated with them, more writing.
At Stern, I had the opportunity to become very involved with the Social Enterprise Club, and right away you find that sort of like-minded group of individuals. And at Wagner, you find that everybody's like that, so it's important to focus on your interest area or your industry or just your friends, and I think that it just happens sort of naturally.
Professors, they at some point they become aware that you're also participating in this other program, and sometimes they would call me out and say, oh, if we're discussing about public-private partnerships or the intersections between nonprofit management or private sector management, sometimes a professor might call on me to sort of give the other perspective and be the spokesperson.
So I've taught maybe a dozen joint MPA, MBA students. I find they bring wonderful dual perspective or a joint perspective to the classes they take.
This dual degree allows you to have 2 summers. You get to do 2 internships. My internship that I have this summer, my second summer, I found through OCD. I got to work for a large corporate foundation last summer, and this summer I'm a fellow with Education Pioneers, and I get to work at Teach for America.
I've been extremely impressed with the career resources at both schools, and it's interesting to see how they use them so differently, and I've been able to really take advantage of both. From building my resume to practicing my elevator pitch to doing behavioral interviews on campus, they apply to no matter what career path you're going to choose.
The enormous advantage of being in New York is not just that you can do a summer internship in New York, but that you can interview during the semester major leaders of business and nonprofit. It's an extraordinarily rich environment for students, especially in a dual degree program where they're trying to figure out and negotiate the boundaries, the junctures, the intersections of public and private.
What appealed to me about NYU, the dual program at NYU, was not only that it was in New York City and that you had access to the finance capital of the world, but also there are a ton of foundations and nonprofits and policy organizations here.
You're part of not only a large university, but New York City and a global economy. So I think that kind of stepping out of each one and going to the other school was a unique experience.
Dual degree students tend to work, no surprise, in multiple sectors. We've got students who've gone to international organizations that are both for-profit and do good, microfinance style organizations like BRAC, for example, Google and some of the other major US social media, or international really, social media type organizations.
My sort of long-term goal is to sort of be in that social entrepreneurial space where I'm working for a really innovative company or a really innovative organization that's doing something different.
I would love to work in social impact consulting. Eventually I would love to run a program at a foundation or run a social enterprise.
I think that having 2 degrees attached to your name certainly shows a very high level of commitment, which employers love to see. It also shows that you've attached yourself to 2 very important values in your life.
You need students who are trained not just, again, in one specific sector. You need students who can move across sectors. I think what makes this degree distinctive, important, and really invaluable.